Hey guys, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video that I've made for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Ubuntu 2404 LTS Noble Numbat. There's the logo right over there. Pretty cool logo. A Numbat, for those people that are wondering, what it is. We talked about it in a few podcasts ago. It's actually like it's an anteater, but it looks kind of like a squirrel. Ubuntu has been a go-to choice for many users who want a stable and easy to use operating system. With this release of the 2404, users can expect even more improvements and features that will actually enhance their experience. This latest version of Ubuntu comes with GNOME 46 desktop environment, improved performance, updated applications. Some of them are actually been removed as well, and a lot more. In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the major changes that Noble Numbat came with. So if you've been a long time, Ubuntu user or just curious about its latest update, keep watching. You're getting ready to see it. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do that, could you do me a favor? Could you please hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and hit that notification button so that way you get notified of every new video that we put out. All right, let's go ahead and go over to the desktop. All right, so here we are at the desktop. Now, Noble Numbat comes with the new install, and that's why I've got it here on the screen. I haven't progressed into it because I'm going to install it here into the machine. The new uses the same Ubiquity backend. The front end has been written in Flutter. It's been iterated significantly over the past year to improve the accessibility options and also increase clarity on the user experience and deliver a very nice experience. For all that we just said, a lot of it kind of, even though it's written in Flutter, it's not a new looking installer, so to speak. It kind of looks the same as the old one. It's just a cleaner, more modern, sleek look, but it looks the same. So let's go ahead and click next on this. Wait, let's go back, make sure that we chose, English is red. Okay, so we're going to click next, and then accessibility. See, this is what they were talking about. Customize Ubuntu to your needs before you set up. You can change them later in the system settings. So this is the accessibility options here. So if you want to turn on Zoom and all that kind of stuff, it's right here. Keyboard layout, we're going to stay with the English US. Connect to the internet. We're using a wired connection. What do you want to do with Ubuntu? Install Ubuntu. That's what we're going to do. How would you like to install Ubuntu? We're going to do an interactive or automated. Now, this is something we'll talk about a little bit later on in the review, but we're going to go ahead and do the interactive installation. What apps would you like to install and start with? So one of the things is that they've done a minimal, even though this is a 6 gigabyte ISO, by the way, they've done a minimal installation as well as an extended selection. A minimal will only give you the core basic apps that you need. Anything else you got to install for yourself. If you do the extended, which is an offline friendly selection of Office tools and other utilities and a web browser. This is just the essentials, which is the web browser and the basic utilities, as I just said. So let us go ahead and do, I'm going to do the default selection because it's kind of nice to do the minimal. Install recommended proprietary software. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Of course, we're going to do that. Download and install support for additional media fonts. We are going to do that as well. How do you want to do this install? We are going to erase and install Ubuntu on this day. And we're going to create the account. So we're going to do something super complicated for the username. And the password is going to be 100% top secret. Yes, we're going to do that, and we're going to click next. I mean, it looks more modern for sure. It's detected my appropriate location, so we're going to click next on that. And this is the overview. Yep, we're going to do this, and we're going to install it now. While it's doing that, I will go ahead and I will simply pause the video, and when it's done, I'll resume and log in. So it has finished installing, so I'm going to hit restart now, and we're going to see what it looks like as it restarts. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and select this. One of the things that they did is they made this a lot larger, so it's easier to read. And we're going to go ahead and put in our password, and we're going to log in, provided I didn't mess up typing my password, which we didn't. One of the things I forgot to mention in the beginning when we were doing the installer is one of the things that they did with is that they brought back the ZFS guided installation as a file system option, and they added support for ZFS encryption as well. Okay, so we've rebooted, and so now we're going to go ahead and log in. One of the things I forgot to mention during the installation process is that they brought back ZFS guided installation as a file system option, and they added support for ZFS encryption as well. Another thing that they did is they improved guidance for dual boot setups, particularly in relation to BitLocker, because I guess there was an issue with that. Also, support for hardware-backed full disk encryption makes its first appearance as an experimental form in this iteration of Ubuntu LTS. They're warned that the implementation also has certain limitations at launch, which restrict its use to those devices that only require a generic kernel with no third-party drivers or kernel modules. So keep that in mind if you guys are trying to do some of these higher functioning things. It currently doesn't support firmware upgrades if you use these encryption methods as well. So, just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and log in. And so we are now at the desktop. So let's go ahead and make this look a little bit better. Okay, go ahead and hit this here. We're going to go to the settings. Okay, we're going to go to displays. We're going to turn this into a 1920 by 1080. Right here, we're going to hit apply. Okay, so we are now logged into our desktop. One of the things that they did is they added the auto install support of the Ubiquity installer. Users for like businesses and stuff like that, if they want to create a customized, repeatable, automatic installation flow, they could do that using that automatic install. That will guide you through it all. There is a tutorial on their website explaining this. Basically, what they've kind of done is they're taking a mutable-ish step for Ubuntu. This brings them a little bit closer to the long-term goal of the zero-touch provisioning, meaning that they plan to add support for SSO authentication to protect the auto-install files in a corporate environment. This is going to be mainly for the business-level stuff, though. Let's go ahead and kind of take a look at some of the new stuff that they did. One of the biggest things that they did is they got the new App Center, which if you go here and you open it up, this is what it looks like. They just made this look so clean and fresh. It's no longer called the Ubuntu Software Center. It's called the actual App Center. One of the things that they did is they offer a clean and modern look, as you can see. Also, the App Center now includes a rating service, which will let users vote on the quality of their apps and view an aggregated score from other users, so that way you'll know if an app is worth a hoot or not. You'll also be able to search and browse and install and remove update snap apps or deb packages. You can still install deb packages, but you're going to have to install GDebi, which is a GUI, graphical user front end for the app package manager. Or you can actually open up a terminal, download the .deb file from wherever you want to. You can search it real quick to download those. Download the .deb file, and then you could take and you simply cd into the directory where it's at, usually downloads, and then you would type sudo apt install / and then the name of the .deb file, .deb, and then hit enter, and it'll install it easy enough for you. That's the notable thing about the App Center that's new. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it is quite modern looking feeling. I mean, it is quite beautiful. Doesn't look much different than the Ubuntu Software Center, but the texting, the font rendering is a lot better, I feel. It is definitely, to me, sleeker than the Ubuntu Software Center prior to this. Another thing that is worth noting in the App Center is that part of the new App Center development is that they've split off the firmware update. It used to be you could update your firmware in here, and it is no longer there. They now have a firmware updater tool written in Flutter And this allows for a much richer experience in managing your firmware, because the old firmware updater application was constantly had to be running in the background in order for it to check for firmware, whereas the new one does not do that. The firmware updater tool is probably over here. You click this shows your apps, and let's see if we can find it. Right here is the firmware updater, and when you open it, as you can see, there are no devices to be found. Would be where you would find it at for additional drivers and firmware. There's that. That's kind of nice. That's kind of a tip right out of kind of like to me, it reminds me a lot of the Manjaro experience for their firmware updater as well, and also their Linux kernel driver. Another notable thing, if you'll notice, is this is the new GNOME 46, right? Which is very, very nice. With this comes enhancements that GNOME 46 brings with it, which are improvements to the file manager and performance. Also, expandable notifications has been consolidated to a settings option, and for easier access as well. That being said, if you go over here to the quick settings, so let's meet the quick settings manager. Here it is squashed. And if you go here to settings, right here, you can access your settings right here, and this will open up all your system settings that you need. Also, they got the power mode here. They got the dark style, which I can switch to dark. It's easier to turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as well using the revamped quick settings menu. Wired, if you had Wi-Fi, you can go right through here. So yeah, that's very nice. Bluetooth also, if you had a Bluetooth in there, which my computer does not have Bluetooth, would be in there. Other handy shortcuts, like I said, was a screenshot one, the volume slider as well. But one thing that they did add is they added, if you use Flatpak apps that are compatible with GNOME, the background app section will appear. Another thing that they added was the dynamic workspace indicator, which if you notice, if you've been using GNOME for a while, you will notice, if you hadn't, it would have caught your eye that this no longer says activities up here. This button up here in the top left, that's gone. It's now a dotted indicator, kind of similar to that which you would experience in like Hyperland and other toolbars now. You click on it here, your workspace, which is what it is, and it tells you how many virtual workspaces are open and which one you're on, which is one only, and that's it. I just clicked on it and now I'm back to it. Another thing that they've added was a Windows tiling assistant. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's open up a few of these apps here. So let's open up the App Center, right? We're going to grab this, go here, and let's see. We'll make there. So there's a half screen real estate. Let's open up the Help Center. And so we're going to grab this and we're going to make that the other half. Ooh. So there's the other half. And then let's open up the recycling. So as you can see, it opens up as a, oops, let's go to the recycling. Wait a minute. The trash is right here. So we're going to grab that and we're going to make it go right there. So see, now we're tiled with all our things. Let's open up the file manager, see if we can make, oh wait, no, not the file manager, because that'll be the same thing as that. Let's open up Firefox. Oh goodness, it's going to take a minute too because it's going to want to go to the setup, but we're not going to worry about that. And let's see if we can make this. And there we go. So now we have them all tiled all the way around, you know, to be whichever. When you click on whichever one, it pops it wherever it is. So you can make it the focus one, right? So see, it brings it up larger. See, it brings it up larger. I mean, it's kind of pretty cool. So there you go. I mean, you could do that whichever way you want. You could drag and drop them. That's kind of cool that they did the new tiling assistant like that. I mean, I'm a fan of window tilers. I'm really happy with this. I find this to be so cool. It's a new feature that I think is kind of going to be bridging the gap for a lot of people. I honestly believe, you know, that may be a good introduction into a window manager. You can actually disable this if you don't like it, or configure it in the Ubuntu desktop section of the settings. So we'll go ahead and navigate there. So what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll go to the settings, And then I believe we've got to look for a desktop, Ubuntu desktop section right here. And tiling right here. So enhanced tiling, you can turn it on or off right here. Some of the apps were removed and some were added. GNOME Clocks app is now part of the default software set in both the minimal and the expanded editions. This app lets you know the time, which also lets you create alarms, run timers, set up world clocks. Let's see here. Oops, my bad. This button down here is now where you can go to. And so here's the Clocks app right here. Let's take a look at it. We'll open it up. And of course, as you can see, cancel. I don't want to do that. I like dragging it to the center. You've got world clock. You can set alarms, stopwatch, and timer as set. Looks sleek, looks nice. I love the font rendering. I mean, it looks really, really good. Looks sharp. Thunderbird is now Snap. We talked about that also on the podcast. The .deb is in the repo, but it's a transition package that will install the Snap version. You are not actually installing Thunderbird itself. It's still going to be a Snap, and when you do a system upgrade, the Snap version will be replaced as well. Snapshot is now replacing Cheese as the camera app. GNOME Games was removed if you in the extended edition, so you're not going to get, Isle Riot, Solitaire. You're not going to get Mines. Any of those out of the box games that came before is not going to be there. Also, Pipewire is made the default sound server. Nautilus. Now let's talk about Nautilus. Nautilus itself, which is the file manager for GNOME, got some new features in it as well. It is more powerful, capable, and faster. As you notice, it moved a lot faster when you open up stuff. I mean, it's pretty lightning quick, which it didn't used to be. It used to take some time to open into the files and directories. You could also now drag and drop. You can now drag and drop on the tab, and you could also paste images copied to the clipboard as a new file. You could also set revert custom folder icons easily. Password protect zips. You could also use text search to find options in Nautilus preferences. You can switch view with instant loading, use rubber banding selection and list view as well. There's a lot of cool things. Another cool thing is that the file chooser that appears in other apps supports a thumbnail view. Now that's kind of cool too. That is a look at the changes that they've made with Nautilus. And here it is. So as you can see, it is running the 6.8 generic kernel. Normally they are in the fives, the later fives, like 5.15, I think was the last one. So this one jumped all the way up to the 6.8, which is the latest version time of release, which is kind of a big deal for Ubuntu, to be honest with you. They like to stay behind. So that means that they've given people the ability to use the newest gamepad and controllers, also the P-State driver tweaks, and also better swap memory handling. And that, of course, is a look at Ubuntu 24.04, which is a very nicely done Ubuntu LTS. It was a well polished, thought of distribution put out by Ubuntu. Probably one of the most feature packed, newer features added LTSs in a while. So if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Also, do me a favor, please. It helps, with the YouTube algorithms and everything. Smashing that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends. That helps out a lot too. So thanks for watching. We hope you found this video nice and helpful. Till then, man, y'all keep doing what you do. Keep on listening. Stay blessed, stay happy, and above all, I will see you in the very next one.